Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
So check this video out, y'all. Check this video out, y'all. A whale was giving birth to a baby in the water, and this attracted sharks due to the blood, the smell of blood. And dolphins appeared out of nowhere and formed a circle around the whale and the baby to protect them. Look at that, y'all. Look at the whale. Look at the whale. Look at that. To protect the whale. This is why they want y'all to stay away from dolphins. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this is, man. Wow. And they escorted them off. This is beautiful, beautiful. And to be able to capture this, thank you to the Predator for this. But yeah, man, this is why they want y'all to stay. That's why they want dolphins to stay away from y'all. They want dolphins to stay away from us. We are connected to dolphins. Dolphins are higher versions of us. They speak telepathy. Look at this, y'all. This is beautiful, man. Share this video. Let's get this out there. Look at what dolphins do for us. Look at this.
Okay, three things. Number one, I don't know what this guy is talking about with his claim that they want us to stay away from the dolphins. Two, please excuse my red eyes and irritated sounding voice. My allergies are getting me. Three, there is quite a bit of this gentleman in today's video. I just discovered his channel on TikTok today, and he has some really interesting videos that he posted and that I wanted to share with you guys. So he's in here quite a bit. It won't be like this again tomorrow. I just wanted to give you a heads up so that you didn't see this and think, uh-oh, Barry's starting to have trouble finding material.
Oh, but we may actually have, my friend. We may already have. Let's take a second to get a few people mad out there with these photos of excavated giant bones found all over the world. But why would they be mad? Oh, it's because these are fake. That's right. Every one of these photos of giant bones have been deemed fake, but I'm gonna show you the real ones. Photos like this are claimed to have been part of an archaeology Photoshop contest back in the day, but were they just part of a cover-up? Let's start off easy. These 6.5-foot femur bones are confirmed real and weigh around 1,100 pounds. But they were of course labeled as dinosaur bones, belonging to a species called sauropods. Real convenient being able to just slap a dinosaur label on any potential giant remains we ever find, huh? A lot of people will say, it's only one bone, where's the rest of the giant then? Oh yeah? Where's the rest of the dinosaur, motherfucker? But you know what? They might actually be dinosaur bones, so let's not jump to conclusions yet. Like this two-headed mummy discovered off the coast of Argentina in the 1600s, measuring 12 feet tall and currently on display in a museum, confirmed by many physicians to be real. Now there's this. A giant skeleton over 23 feet tall, uncovered in Ecuador and 100% confirmed real, which was later dismissed as an ancient sloth? Like, come on, they're just making shit up at this point. Another photo from Ecuador. Kinda blurry, I know, but almost no evidence pointing to it being faked. Here's a giant footprint fossil in South Africa, 4 feet long and estimated to have belonged to a being 24 to 27 feet tall. And finally, there's this. A much more human-looking femur bone, and not as thick as the others. Dug up in the Euphrates Valley in Turkey, measuring 47 inches and estimated to have belonged to a giant over 20 feet tall. All confirmed real, and giant excavations like these used to get widely reported in newspapers all the time back in the late 18 to mid 1900s, but now they're always quick to sweep these under the rug for some reason. With the Smithsonian, the world's leading museum and research education institution created by the US government, accused of covering up all giant findings and instead putting the spotlight on how fake the fakes are. Like they did with the San Diego giant in 1865, which is one of the smaller ones, inspected by dozens of scientists and featured in many newspapers. After which the Smithsonian purchased the giant for a pretty large sum, and then all of a sudden, many years later, they dismiss it as a hoax, saying that it was made from gelatin and we never see it again. Google searches of these giant excavations will obviously only bring up the fakes, pushing the most ridiculous ones to the top of the search results. The problem with finding definitive proof of these giants is the internet is laced with these Photoshop jobs. So all the Google debunkers are quick to downplay any new evidence that comes up, like, nah bro, it's fake, didn't you read that fact check article bro, even if real evidence were to come up. But even if real evidence were to come up, the alleged Smithsonian cover-up can easily just write a bunch of articles that discredit it as a hoax. We all know this isn't the first time governments and tech giants were caught deliberately manipulating data to control the narrative. A lot of the time, the difference between a conspiracy and fact is time. Now, I'm not saying this is 100% one of those cases, but keep that mind open, people.
I think this is one of those cases. I'm totally convinced that giants were real, and I think we've got a ton of evidence to back it up. The reason I think that is because there's been so much evidence that's been so widely reported finding the remains of giants. It talks about the giants in the Bible. We've got evidence of actual footprints of a 20-something foot tall giant. There's so much evidence for it that it's almost would be a conspiracy to think that they didn't exist.
Okay, you guys, I don't want to alarm you, but something may be coming to pass with the financial economy system. The Walton family just sold $4.5 billion to Walmart stock, and Jeff Bezos sold $8.5 billion today. Jamie Dimon sold $150 million to JP Morgan. Zuck sold $400 million. Buffett is selling a lot. Altogether, Bezos, Black, Dimon, and the Walton family have sold a combined whopping $11 billion in company stock this month, and this is for the first time ever. Do you guys see this? In this latest interview, Warren Buffett is recorded saying, financially speaking, there will not be a 2025 and that there's going to be some consequences to pay.
It all has consequences, and I think we're about, well, we are starting to see the consequences of the.
It seemed like he couldn't say what he really wanted to say. Did you see the anticipation in his body language? You know these people are being controlled on all kinds of levels. They got handlers all around him. I wouldn't be surprised if that guy that's right next to him isn't a handler. Not to mention, the U.S. is in debt at $33 trillion, you guys. 33 is the number Jesus died at, right? So is the U.S. economy about to be crucified? Do you think that's the case here, y'all? Because spiritually speaking, you know, this is all a video game and every numbers run everything, y'all. Because this is probably why they told us about it. This is why they said it specifically at $33 trillion for the first time.
Well, the fact is, it simply cannot continue to go the way it's going. They're just printing money out of thin air and causing this skyrocketing inflation that's just wiping out the middle class. This is not like a political topic in my eyes. This is just a topic on reality, and both sides of the aisle see it. The only people who don't seem to see how the country is being destroyed are the people who are in charge of it. This is information that definitely makes me lose sleep at night. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this kind of content, I make a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday. It would be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me.
So apparently we know of 69 different alien species.
These are catalog 69 different species, different life forms. There's one species that at full adulthood is about 1.5 feet. There's another species that's 10 or 12 feet. The ones that people often refer to are around 3 to 4 feet, 39 inches or so tall. We have very good forensic drawings from men who've been on the retrieval teams of what these various species look like. The reason they keep coming back, number one, it's not a coincidence that the modern era of all this started when we started detonating atomic bombs. What Edward Teller and Oppenheimer didn't understand when they were developing that is that when you detonate an atomic bomb, you get, everybody knows about an electromagnetic pulse, the pulse that goes out, knocks out all electronic communication. What people didn't know about is there's also a pulse of what's called scalar energy. And scalar is faster than the speed of light.
I think Dr. Greer is full of ish, trying to keep it family friendly. I know we got some people that watch with their kids, but yeah, I think he's a total grifter, and I think like he acts like he's so in the know that he's aware of 69 different documented aliens. That's ridiculous. If this guy really had that information and he's going to sit here and share it in a podcast, he'd be gone in a second. They do away with him because the government story is still, we don't know who's flying these crafts. So he's telling a wildly different story. They'd have to get rid of him. If any of this was true, they'd have to get rid of him. He is a total grifter.
Atlanta, did you hear the news? They are literally trying to turn ATL into China. Georgia Power and AT&T have teamed up and created these LED streetlights with sensor-enabled data network in order to see your every move, y'all. Check this out. You're not gonna like it.
Power crews have been working to repair and replace streetlights in and around Metro Atlanta.
The sensors can record outdoor temperature, capture pedestrian and vehicle movement, and record audio and video.
Drone 2 flew over the Thomasville Heights neighborhood.
So the device attaches very nicely to the light, and it blends in quite nicely. And it's got two cameras, 2 audio sensors, edge processing capabilities, which is really great and allows you to to do a lot more than just kind of sending full video files back, and supports multiple connectivity options like cellular is what we're leveraging today, but it can also support fiber and Bluetooth as well.
Officials held a news conference Wednesday night to discuss the progress they've made with the Light Up the Night program, where they plan to go next. 2024 marks year 3 of the ongoing initiative and the latest efforts in the old Adamsville neighborhood.
The next year, we're going to increase that by 20,000 more lights. Lighting up the night.
Is that the people monitoring the cameras have the ability to move those cameras 360 degrees. They can zoom in and out on whatever's happening in the area of the camera. We have highly trained civilian personnel. Not only are they monitoring radio traffic, they have the ability to communicate directly with the officers on the street, and they're also proactively monitoring, looking for criminal activity. For example, there was a monitor that observed animal abuse, and they were able to call that out, and the suspect was apprehended at a short distance from where the observation was made.
We also have camera programs that allow that where we own and operate.
In the United States, they're allowing this? That's insane. Welcome to 1984. It's all downhill from here.
I saw my buddy Mike Guyver with this coin in his background on a live. Look, it's a flat earth. A San Marino coin from 1999 with a flat earth on it. But look at the creepy front of the coin. It's a caged mind with the globe in it, hands holding fire, and the celestial bodies all around. And don't tell me that's not a caged mind. It literally says crowned shield, flat earth as once envisioned, and a crowned shield. And what's with the hands holding fire? Have you guys ever seen heliosorcery? This kind of reminds me of those vibes. This person has the caged mind and the fire in the hands and all these planets. Now that's more like it. It'd be cool to get my hands on one of these. And what are these? Are these like blast holes in the firmament? And why do they look like moon craters? You gotta admit, it's funny that the craters on the moon are all at the right angle as if those meteors came from Earth.
Okay, so let's look at the other side of the coin, so to speak, and look at this with a different perspective. This coin is called Crowned Shield, Earth Flat as Once Envisioned. All right, so it tells you right there in the title that they're just saying this is an old view of the Earth, is that it was flat. They're not saying that this is a current view and that they're saying that the Earth is currently flat. They're saying this is what people used to think as once envisioned. On the other side of the coin, where it shows the picture of a head with the globe in it, they're opening their hands and stoking a fire with their breath. Just like we learned how to make fire, which was a groundbreaking discovery, I think that they're hinting that discovering that the Earth is actually a globe was a groundbreaking discovery. I think that's what they're trying to say. I don't think that they're trying to say that our mind is caged. I think they're trying to symbolize right there that we now know that the Earth is a globe. And how do we know that information? It's in our head. Hence, the globe inside the head. And I think the lines or the cage there is just simply to symbolize that the globe is inside of something, inside of a structure, inside of our head.
This is pretty chilling to listen to. This guy used to work for the FBI, and he goes into detail of what he used to do for the FBI. He used to work primarily with children. Now think about that, you guys, children. When he was getting a little too good at his job, he brought his attention to the director of the FBI forces, and everything changed. I want you to listen to this.
In the FBI in 2014, I spent my first 7 years investigating violent crimes on Indian reservations. Eventually moved to Florida to work on child pornography and human trafficking. In 2021, I was reassigned and told that those child pornography cases were no longer a priority for the FBI, and I needed to focus on domestic terrorism. When I made the transition, I got my first look at the January 6 investigations and became immediately concerned. The FBI is departing from its own guidelines and rules for managing cases. I brought my concerns forward. I told my supervisors that what we were doing was jeopardizing righteous cases and putting the public safety at risk. Within 30 days, the FBI suspended my security clearance and placed me into an indefinitely unpaid, suspended position for the FBI. The security division tried to compel me to lie to them so they could charge me with a crime. The FBI rejected my multiple requests for outside employment because I was in an unpaid status. If the FBI is willing to do that, to one of its own people. What are they willing to do to the regular American citizen who they are duty-bound to protect?
Regardless of what your opinion is of January 6th, it's clear that the FBI is no longer here to protect U.S. citizens. It's starting to feel like there's been some big switch, and they're actively working against us. Excuse me.
So check out this Tesla conspiracy theory out, y'all, and you're going to get a kicker out of this. Listen to this.
There's a conspiracy theory I think might be true. Last week, a Tesla crashed through a wall of my house. I was home when it happened. The first thing I did was check to make sure my roommate was okay. Then I called 911. Then I went outside and started taking pictures of the crash. My first picture was at 5:07 p.m. My first picture of the tow truck drivers trying to take the Tesla out of here was at 5:10 p.m. It had literally just happened minutes earlier, and so I was like, hey, can we pause for a second? Like, the cops are on their way right now, and the tow truck driver actually said to me, F you. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me, dude? Like, my house just got ran into. Have some empathy. And no joke, he goes, here's your empathy. And I was like, oh my God, you're being that much of a dick right now? And he goes, get the f out of my way. And then he shoved me and he threatened to beat me up and kill me if I didn't let him get the car out of there. So my question is Tesla's automatic crash system alerting tow truck drivers? And are they offering them a bunch of money to get the car out of a situation before news cameras show up? They don't want any more negative press because those tow truck drivers were here so fast and they were so aggressive, there had to be a bunch of money on the line.
That does look like that was what happened. That looks highly suspicious. My big question is, what are the legalities of removing the car from the scene of the crime like that? I mean, granted, it's not a crime, but it's still a scene of an accident. So if they come in and they remove that vehicle from the scene of an accident before the cops are able to get there and make an assessment on what happened, and then they found out that it's because Tesla is offering money to these tow truck drivers to get the cars out of there really quickly, I would say that Tesla would be at fault. This seems like a really shady business practice, if that's what's going on.
So Tesla owners are facing a bigger issue as of late, y'all. Tesla owners are saying that their car is making them sick. This lady has reported extreme fatigue, debilitating shoulder and neck pain, nosebleeds, nausea, as well as hair loss. A former Tesla owner has claimed that she has experienced nosebleeds, hair loss, and debilitating body pains while using the vehicle she purchased in 2021. While she was not entirely sure that the Tesla was at fault, the Georgia resident said her symptoms disappeared after selling her car. Tesla owners have had to trade in some models because the air conditioning systems were prone to mold, which caused asthma-like symptoms. She reported that after buying a Tesla in 2021, she started experiencing fatigue after driving her vehicle and complained the symptoms got worse over time. I would come home from the grocery store and needed to lay down in bed for 20 minutes before I could even go unload the car. She said her husband spent hours in the car and both experienced the same symptoms, but it wasn't until she took a road trip in her mom's gas-powered vehicle and experienced no symptoms that she realized something was wrong. The symptoms escalated until she started having nosebleeds and nausea towards the end of a long car ride and said she started losing her hair in the last few months of owning the car. She added a disclaimer saying, "Am I sure the car caused these symptoms? I'm not 100% sure of anything. It is likely our symptoms are gone after selling the car 5 months ago." Her post on Instagram received a lot of replies, with one woman saying that her brother-in-law had something similar happen to them. They sent the car in for repairs and it ended up being mold everywhere. Another mother chimed in saying she owned a Model Y for 3 years and had major headaches, body aches, tired all the time, overall just not feeling herself. Her children had the same symptoms. There are other Tesla owners saying that their air conditioning system doesn't dry out, which causes mold over time. You guys remember this video that went viral a few years ago?
A brand new Tesla Model S in a Turkish garage and leave it for 1 month. It starts rotting. What happened?
Look at all that mold.
What the fuck is this? Look at this! My Tesla! Fuck.
Elon Musk got some explaining to do. Elon Musk got some explaining to do. So this is what's happening to Tesla owners, y'all? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Hey.
So this is just my opinion. I don't know anything about how Teslas are made other than, I mean, I've seen a few manufacturing videos and stuff that I've watched out of curiosity on YouTube. but you're riding around on a gigantic battery. Everyone's worried about the radiation and stuff that comes from your cell phone. Aren't you just in a gigantic cell phone? That thing is nothing but electronics. It would only make sense that you're going to get some sort of a negative energy waves that are coming off of all this equipment and stuff. As far as the other video that he shows with the Tesla all full of mold, that I've seen probably like 30 of those videos, and it's all coming out of Dubai. And what happens is and it's not all Teslas either. It's other types of sports cars and stuff. But what happens is these rich guys, they drive around in their sports cars, or these fancy like Lamborghinis and whatnot, and then they go get them cleaned, and then they park them and go on a trip for a couple of months at a time. And when they come back, everything's all molded up because the seats were wet. Whenever they parked the car, they didn't let the seats and stuff dry out before they put it in storage. And that's all that's going on there.
Hey y'all gotta check this video. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. So around this time every single day, this lady records this messages across her building that the sun projects every single day. This is in St. Louis, Missouri, y'all. Check this out, y'all. Check it out.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys see this, but every day at this time, when the sun sits in a certain spot, this appears on the building across from me. See how it just went away and then it goes away? It's like, is it Hebrew? Somebody told me something. Did you see that? There, then the sun.
It looks like runes. Y'all see that? Y'all ever seen runes? It looks like runes. But now let me ask you a question. Isn't that the sun back here?
Anybody?
Wait, wasn't that the sun back here, y'all? Doesn't that look like the sun? How is it reflecting on this building?
What does this mean?
What is this, y'all? How is that possible?
It makes sense to me that all she would need to do to figure out what's going on is get on top of the other building at the same time of day and film the brightest spot, whatever the sun is reflecting off of. And then that's going to show her where these symbols are coming from, because that's all that's happening is the sun is reflecting off something and shining these symbols up onto the wall. And it could be intentional. It could be some art installation that she's just never noticed at her apartment complex. I mean, you see all kinds of weird art and installations all the time that are supposed to interact with the sunlight and stuff like that. So this one right here would only make sense that there's something like that going on here. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end it. That's the end of our videos for the day. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together. I'll be back tomorrow with another video, just like always. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're interested in buying yourself a shirt, you can go to www.barry-stepp.com and pick you one up. I hope everybody has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.